आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Happy to resume these Upanishad classes online, Friday evenings in India and Friday mornings in the West. We had completed selected portions from the Chandogya Upanishad. Being from the Samaveda, the Chandogya Upanishad had the Shanti Mantra or Mangala Charana, Apyayantu Mamangani. The present Upanishad we are picking up is Kena-Upanishad, which is also from the Samaveda, and thus the Shanti Mantra happens to be the same. Apyayantu mamangani vakpranaschakshu shrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani, and so on. Notably, the Shanti Mantra does not talk of some metaphysics. On the contrary, it talks about how important it is for us to keep good health, be fit, not for some worldly pursuit, but for the quest of the ultimate truth, for the liberating wisdom. And therefore, rightly, in this Apyayantu Mamangani, we have the aspiration that all the noble qualities, virtues that are talked of in the Upanishads, referring of course to Shama, Dhamma, Viveka, Vairagya and so on, may those qualities be in me. May those qualities enter me, stay in me, and so on. We therefore now begin the study of Kena-Upanishad, and it is relatively a short Upanishad. It is totally something like 33 mantras spread over 4 sections or khandas. Though it is short in size, it is considered very precious piece of teaching. Of course, it is one of the 8 or one of the 10 major Upanishads. One of the 10 major Upanishads on which Adi Shankaracharya wrote commentaries. The uniqueness of this Kena-Upanishad is that only on this Upanishad and on no other, Adi Shankara wrote 2 commentaries. Generally, or at most places, students study the first commentary he had written, which is named vākya-bhāshya. For special attention is given to every pada or word of the 33 mantras, explaining the meaning of the words and of course giving the meaning of the entire mantra, of the entire teaching to an extent. Not that the explanation of the whole mantra is dispensed with, that is not possible. But special attention was given to do justice to every word that had to be explained properly. Anandagiri, in his commentary on Shankara's commentary, makes a comment that even after writing an excellent commentary on this Kena-Upanishad, Bhagavan Bhashyakara was not satisfied. Na tutosha, tosha, santosha, tushti means a certain satisfaction. This would be enough. Na tutosha, that means santosham na avapnot, na avindata, na alabata. Did not get santosha, did not get that adequate satisfaction. But we find his commentary, Pada-bhāshya, excellent. But the Bhashyakara himself was not very happy. Why? Not because there was any flaw in it, but he saw that this Upanishad has so much more that can be said. It has more depths to be discovered, and especially some explanations, keeping in mind how the vakyas, not pada, not the words, but the whole sentences in the Kena-Upanishad go so well with either the sutras, Brahma Sutras, or complete sentences that are referred to in the Brahma Sutras in a very logical way. You see, Brahma Sutras are regarded as a body of scriptures where the sutras bring together Upanishadic statements in a highly logical manner. The sutras make references to Upanishadic statements, and then the sutras say something which opens up the logical neatness of the system of the Vedanta as conveyed by the Vakyas of the Upanishads. For example, Janmadhyasya Yataha is a sutra. Brahman is that from which the birth of everything and everybody takes place, in which everybody and everything stays, into which everybody and everything merges. Janma adi asya yataha. And scholars of Brahma Sutras would immediately see in it that this sutra, Janma adi asya yataha, is a reference to the well-known Vakya in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti. There is a long sentence, and that sentence is referred to by the short formula. So, connecting appropriate mantras of other Upanishads, appropriate sutras of the Brahma Sutras to statements in the Kena-Upanishad, there can be much reflection, much useful, valuable, and helpful contemplation possible. And therefore, Adi Shankara wrote a second commentary on the same Kena-Upanishad, which is called vākya-bhāshya. The first one, in chronological order, was Pada-bhāshya, and the second one, which came later, in other words, was vākya-bhāshya. In this introductory lecture, this evening, going by India's time, we will see some glimpses of what is called the Sambandha-bhāshya, elsewhere called Avataranika, how you get down to the text. Before Adi Shankara actually picks up mantras of the Kena-Upanishad, of the Talavakara Shaka, of Samaveda, he makes certain points clear. In this context, we have selected a few lines. To go by every line of the Bhashya by Adi Shankaracharya would, on one hand, take a very long time to to cover this scripture. On the other, a matter of greater concern is a good number of our audience would not find it all that interesting or all that appealing, all that meaningful. For them, things would look too technical. Many questions, many issues, many aspects would look rather not relevant in their eyes. Therefore, we take a middle path while commenting on the vākya-bhāshya, and of course, we cover the entire Upanishad. Every mantra will be touched upon. There is no question of leaving out a mantra of the Upanishad proper. But when it comes to the vākya-bhāshya, we are not going to touch pada-bhāshya. Taking vākya-bhāshya, we select a few lines which represent or which reflect the main teaching that Adi Shankara brings out. Accordingly, therefore, we open a couple of slides. The first slide, of course, is just the Shanti Mantra. Let's make a beginning with the slides. The first slide has Apyayantu Mamangani, which you have been hearing in the lectures on the Chandogya Upanishad, and therefore this is not unfamiliar to you. Apyayantu means may they be strong, may they grow well. My limbs, my speech, my vital air, my breath, my eyes, my ears, my general strength, and all the limbs, sense organs, and so on. May they be strong. May they grow well. And really speaking, the student says, I do realize everything is that changeless Brahman, Sarvam Brahma, Upanishadam Brahma. See, the word Upanishada comes here in the Shanti Mantra. Sarvam Brahma, everything is the Supreme Brahman. What Brahman are you talking about? One of the three, Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva? Oh no, not that Brahma. Not that four-faced Brahma, the spouse of Saraswati. No, no. Here we are talking of Brahma as conveyed by the Upanishads. Something conveyed by the Upanishads, something related to the Upanishads is Upanishada. From there, we extracted the part Aupa, like Aurobindo becomes Oro, Auroville, Oro Shikha, and a number of things beginning with Oro. Aurobindo. In Pondicherry, you find that. So, Upanishada, we took Aupa, and we have been bringing out an e-newsletter. And this month, we brought out the 100th issue of that Aupa, the e-newsletter, just 10 or 12 pages of soft copy only. Any of you who wishes to have it, please send an email requesting for being included in the mailing lists. Write an email to fowaiforum@gmail.com. So, Aupa. Aupa means coming from or related to Upanishad. U becomes Au. Upanishadam Brahma eva sarvam, and may I never turn away from this quest of the ultimate truth. May that supreme Brahman, which one notch below expresses as the ruler of this entire universe, Ishvara, may he never let me down. May he be favorable to me. May there be anirakarana, that is non-denial. May I not deny God, may God not deny me. Therefore, twice, anirakaranam astu, anirakaranam me, to me astu. And atmanirate ye upanishatsu dharma, ye upanishatsu dharma. Dharma here means the values. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshutvam, especially the first two, the ability to discern, distinguish the permanent and the temporary, the good and the bad, and then choose what is long lasting, choose what is good over what is temporary or bad. Vairagya, increased distaste or lack of taste for the passing pleasures of the world, and so on. May those qualities reside in me. Te mai santu. May they be in me. May they be in me. After this, we have some sentences from the vākya-bhāshya. In the vākya-bhāshya, to translate it just once, that commentary by Adi Shankaracharya, which tries to connect the statements of this Kena-Upanishad with significant interpretations as found as well as supported by, found in and supported by other scriptures. So we begin with a certain selection. Right in the beginning, as Sri Shankaracharya opens up, he first says, this happens to be, that is, this whole Kena-Upanishad comes after 8 previous chapters in that particular Talavakara Shakha, some section of the Samaveda. So what were the previous 8 chapters talking about? Well, those 8 chapters talked about karma. Do this and get this. Do this and get that. And karma means action, especially Vedic rituals, and in an extended sense of the word, things of the world. Some boy, your son does engineering, gets a very good job, gets promoted, and achieves karma. Looks very good at first sight, but everybody knows that however much wealth you may acquire, however much position you may gain, however successful you may be in a certain sense, true peace, true fulfillment, ending of sorrow in life cannot come about by that kind of mere financial or other forms of success of the world. So karma is like that. Vedika karma, perform some agnihotra, perform some yaga, yajna, havana. Or laukika karma, study this, do business or do some enterprise, work hard in any field of your choice, agriculture or business or technology or industry or music or dance or sports or films or you name it. In any chosen field of activity, if we work with great focus, great efficiency and effectiveness, no doubt we will reach certain heights. But karma intrinsically is limited. Karma is finite, and therefore the karma phala also is finite. So the first sentence we take from the early couple of paragraphs from this vākya-bhāshya starts like this. Samsara bijam ajnanam uchit sataha. Uchit sataha. Yes, for Sanskritists, it's an interesting word. We have this in the second slide. Uchit sataha. Chit sataha, right. So, for those who wish to know what is this uchit sataha, you know a word, hopefully, probably, uchcheda. Uchcheda means uprooting. No matter what we achieve, where we reach, how popular we become, which itself is difficult, In life, we get misunderstood rather than getting well received everywhere. So, even if we have great amount of wealth and fame and name and acceptance and this and that, we are still sorrowful. Therefore, uchit chitsavaha, uchedam chikir shavaha. That is the easier expansion. Ucheda means we want to uproot this worldliness, hankering after worldly pleasures. Can we go to the second slide? It has not come here on my screen. It has remained in the first slide. So, Uchchitsavaha, Uchchedam Kartum Ichavaha. What do they want to uproot? Those who study the Upanishads want to uproot or totally remove samsara bijam, the very root of worldly existence. They don't want to destroy the world. Why blame the world? What they want to destroy is their worldliness. We have attachment, we have aversion, we have grudge, we have regret, we have anxiety, we have 100 negative emotions in us. We suffer from loneliness, we suffer from some kind of dissatisfaction and discontent. That is sansara. And the root of it is ajnanam. Samsara bijam ajnanam uchchit chit sataha pratyagatma vishaya jijnasoho. So a jijnasu, one who wants to know the pure self. Who am I? What's my true nature? The way I look at myself at present, the way I figure out who I am at this moment is not a happy story. The way I perceive myself at this moment, I am subject to fear, sorrow, desire, and so on. But here comes along the Upanishad. It says, you please know who you truly are. And that is Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma Vishaya Jidnasa Kenishitam iti Atmaswarupa Tattva Vijnanaya Ayam Adhyaya Arabhyate. Adi Shankara makes it amply clear that previous 8 chapters before this Kena-Upanishad were all about karma. This one is an Upanishad. We call it an Upanishad because there is a departure from what we were discussing before. Neither karma nor upasana, but jnana, tattva vijnana. And this Atma, the next selection, karma vishaye anukti. Atma was not mentioned. Atma was not talked about. Ukti means to say. Anukti, nothing was said about Atma. The previous 8 chapters were all different. Just as in universities too, in the same classroom, one class could be about economics. The next class could be about Sanskrit. The third class in that room, classroom 112, let us say. Different bunches of students come, different teachers come, then they depart or they disperse, right? And sometimes when students and teacher gather, the blackboard olden days, now green board or white board, the board is full of some equations. And the present class is not about mathematical equations. The present class may be on Hindi. So Hindi has to be taught. So the teacher or one of the students takes some time to erase the blackboard and make it ready. Likewise, karma and upasana were a different subject, and jnana is very different. Karma vishaye atiteshu ashtasu adhyayeshu atmanaha anukti. Atma was not mentioned, tad viroditvat. Because what karma can get you, the finite results, and what Atma Jnana can bring to you, the understanding of your own infinite nature are poles apart. This way, Adi Shankara makes a strong case for Upanishadic study. For heaven's sake, don't imagine Upanishads are all about making you wealthy or famous or you know well recognized for your knowledge and so on. That seeking fame, seeking name, seeking love from others, respect from others, recognition from others, and so on was another topic. Now you don't seek any of those because you know that even if you get those things in big measure, you will not be happy really within a couple of days, if not, or some within a couple of months, you will be back to square one. So karma gives the finite, dana brings you to the infinite. Therefore, they are virodhi. Now comes an interesting argument from the what we call Purva Pakshi. In the commentaries on Gita, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and so on, the writer of the commentary creates an imagined opponent. That imagined opponent is traditionally called Purva Pakshi. Purva Paksha here means the opposite Paksha side. Purva stands for the opposite side here. Whereas the person who stands by the true Siddhanta, true school, the school of wisdom that Adi Shankara represents, is represented by a person, imagined person. He is called Siddhanti. So the next line here, karma anarambaha iti chet, that is a question that the Purva Pakshi raises. And what does he mean actually? See the word chet, karma anarambha iti chet. Chet is, if we look at it this way, that whoever wants to go for self-realization should completely stop getting into any karma. Arambha means starting. Anarambha means don't start at all. Once for all, completely quit. The Siddhanti says, no, you are jumping, you are going too fast, you missed an important intermediate stop. Why? Karma and upasana are not to be hastily, prematurely stopped. The answer is given in that line itself. If anyone imagines that those who wish to have Brahmajnana overnight should give up all their karma, they are mistaken. Nishkamasya sanskara arthatvat. Don't overnight stop your activities, your actions, Vaidika or Laukika. All along you have been doing things desiring personal gratification. An intermediate phase is when you do them without seeking personal gratification. Not for my name or fame, not for my wealth, not for my security, not for my power or position. Then for what? To please God, to please humanity, to be of service to others. Then that is also a watershed, a major turning point, a milestone. So you are a businessman, continue your business for a certain length of time. And every day say, I am not here to make more money. Even if the business brings more profits, my idea is not to enjoy that. Let people enjoy, let other people in the shop, in the business, in this company enjoy it. But I would like to do things for bringing peace, bringing happiness to others. It is my service for in every field, as I said before, in agriculture or in academics or in industry, even movies, sports, in everything, you name it. In every field of human endeavor, it is possible to do things as a seva. So that becomes a major change from sakama karma to nishkama. Therefore, Adi Shankara in the Sambandha Bhashya, Sambandha means relating, connecting. So we had 8 chapters, we didn't study them, but in the Veda there were 8 chapters before Kena-Upanishad. And now we are taking up the Upanishad, Kena-Upanishad, where there is Atma-jnana. What's the connection? The connection is we need to recognize that karma and upasana can take us to heaven also, but one day heaven also comes to an end. We are back on the earth. So, connection is how can we really open a new page, an altogether new page. Before you could really do that, stay in work, stay with family, stay in your relationships with no selfishness. So what do we get by that? Nishkamasya sanskara arthatvat. Then our antakkarana, our mind, our thoughts, our emotions get purified. The Purva Pakshi, the imagined opponent, does not give up so easily. The last line in this slide is a bit funny. It is a quote from some text, we don't know where, but Shankara places it in his Bhashya, Prakshalanadhi Pankasya Durad Asparshanam Varam. Panka here is the dirt or mud in a certain pond. Suppose we go and take a dip, we take bath in a pond, and then we realize, oh my God, this water is not so clean. We took bath, that pond was supposed to be some holy pond, but because of poor maintenance or some misuse of it, the water was rather muddy. And then you come out and with some clean water, maybe from a tap or from another source of water, you do prakshalana. I wanted to take a dip in the holy pond, which I did, but I better wash now properly before wearing fresh clothes. So why do you want to get into the dirty water and then wash yourself separately? Pankasya prakshalanat hi durad asparshanam varam. If you knew that the pond, however holy it might be regarded, has muddy water, if you know it is muddy, it's not clean, asparshanam varam. Better not to touch it at all. Likewise, giving this analogy, the Purva Pakshi argues, if you know that karma binds you, karma causes agitations. You meet rich people and get close to them, they have their own tale of tears. Meet accomplished people, meet celebrities, meet those who have won awards and trophies and everything. But if you get close to them, they have their own tale of tears. When they got the trophy, for a little while they were happy. But very soon, something, some politics, some partiality, some criticism, somebody questioning their merit, and so on and so forth. So rather than getting into karma and celebrating for a while and later getting into regrets, why not completely avoid karma? Durad asparshanam varam. Don't get into karma at all. Shankaracharya in this part argues that that is rather premature thinking. You must actually prepare yourself. Because you say karma, all said and done, is going to give me unhappiness only. Overnight I will quit. If you say, you cannot. Before you quit, you must arrive at a high degree of purity of mind. Therefore, it is said, when you become nishkama. So we go to the next slide. From sakama karma, don't hurriedly go to akarma. Don't go hurriedly. Sri Krishna says the same in the Bhagavad Gita. Mate sangaha astu akarmani. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostu akarmani. Seeing the limitations, seeing the painful aspects of karma, once more, religious activity or worldly activity, in whichever field, right? Don't suddenly go into a karma, for it won't last. You will have so much of agitations, your old habits, your tendency to get down to work will arise with such force that you will find yourself working. So karma to naishkarmya, the true freedom from karma is technically called naishkarmya. Bhagavad Gita goes a lot into this. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnote na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Some such lokas in the Gita. Overnight, don't go from action to inaction. You may say, but Prince Siddhartha overnight left the kingdom and walked away. Exceptions prove the rule. 1 in a million could do that. In the case of Prince Siddhartha, actually, he had spent some time, some years, inwardly letting go of personal aspirations. Secondly, in a couple of years or in 4 to 5 years before he actually went away from the kingdom, in his mind he had gone through a lot of change, a lot of reflection, lot of clear, discrimination. He was able to see what being a prince, being a king, being a ruler of a large kingdom, etc., what all that could get him and what all that could fail to bring to him. So he had done all the Viveka and Vairagya. In simple terms, someone like Prince Siddhartha had already risen to a high level of mental purity, Viveka, Vairagya, and so on. Adi Shankara himself, at the age of 8, pleads with his mother, please let me go take sannyasa. Should we say to Adi Shankara, no, for 10 years do all these karmas, then take sannyasa. Wait till you are 16, wait till you are 20, wait till you are like that, postpone. Adi Shankara was another exception, great exception. At the age of 8 itself, he was so clear. Karma cannot give me anything. I already have the Viveka and Vairagya. One knows when one knows. Yap pashyati sa pashyati. Therefore, it is said here, nishkamasya, rather than becoming suddenly free of action, you continue to work. Therefore, the Vedanta student is asked to perform some karma and upasana, but take care not to pursue personal goals. Nishkama, seva. What happens in the case of Nishkama? Nishkamasya tu atmajnana pratibandhaka nirmrishtei bhavati. Whatever karma and upasana she may do or he may perform leads to nirmrishti. Mrishti means washing. Nirmrishtei. It leads to the Chaturthi Vibhakti of nirmrishti. Nirmrishtei means when you perform actions, you continue doing whatever you were doing before, but without any selfishness. Your antakarana undergoes a dramatic change. Adi Shankara makes matters so simple by providing an analogy, Adarsha Nirmarjanavat. How a mirror can be cleaned. Dust had sat upon the mirror. You take a piece of cloth and rub the surface. That is necessary. Likewise, in karma, you must perform karma for some length of time. The test of the pudding is in its eating. For some people, with 6 months or 1 year, they may arrive at the necessary antakarana shuddhi. For some, decades also may not be enough. All their life, they might be in the field of service, but they might not succeed in having great purity of mind. For even through all their service, deep inside their heart, they might be desiring some recognition. Whatever. Sakama karma binds you. Nishkama karma doesn't directly liberate you, but prepares the ground. Nirmrishtya bhavati. Pratibandhaka nirmrishti. Just as the dust was a pratibandhaka, an obstacle. The mirror is a very good mirror, but because there was a layer of dust, we try to see our own face, we cannot see. And we remove the dust, we rub the dust off the surface of the mirror, then we see our reflection very clearly. So Nishkama karma is a purificatory practice. Purapakshi somehow doesn't get it. The imagined opponent thinks, when you know karma doesn't give you liberation, you must just quit. Adi Shankara says, giving yet another beautiful illustration, Nahi nadyaha parago navam na munchati, yateshta desha gamanam prati swatantre sati. When someone is traveling by boat, as he is on the river, some more meters to go, then to leave the boat when you are halfway towards the other bank is foolishness. But after you reach the other side of the river, paragaha means one who has reached the other side. There is a double negative usage in this selected sentence. Na, the sentence begins with na, and then one more, na munchati. Nahi nadya parago navam na munchati. You cannot visualize someone who has reached the other shore, not leaving the boat behind. You cannot imagine one negative, not leaving the boat behind, second negative. That means remove both the negatives. Somebody who has reached the other shore says, now I don't need this boat anymore. Therefore, you remove both the nas in the Sanskrit sentence. Nadyaha paragaha navam. Navam means boat. Munchati eva. After reaching the other shore, after getting the adequate purity of mind, you should leave karma, you would leave karma, you will leave karma. For in that intense clarity about things, yateshta desha gamanam prati. You know what is the next stage. You need to walk towards the destination, which may be a mile away. So now this is no time to cling to the boat, however helpful it was. You leave the boat and walk. Like that, when you have adequate antakarana shuddhi, you leave karma and go more and more for shravana, manana, nididhyasana, the jnana abhyasa. Towards the end of this Sambandha Bhashya, Adi Shankara gives to us certain insights into the Atma, the Shuddha Asamsari Atma. The Upanishads do not talk about the Jivatma. Jivatma is the conditioned Atma. When you say, may that departed soul get Sadgati, it is for the Jivatma. The word is the same Atma, but we should be clear. Are we talking about the transmigrating Atma, which is to be called Jivatma, Samsari Atma? Or are we using the word Atma in the sense of that ultimate truth of our existence, which is never born, which never dies, which doesn't accumulate karma, which is untouched by papa and punya? Upanishads talk about that Shuddha Atma. I prefer the word Asamsari Atma. There is a Samsari Atma, transmigrating Atma, and Asamsari Atma. Shankara says in number of sentences, the Shuddha Atma is not something to be obtained, na apya, because you are that already. It is not something to be modified in some way by your sadhanas, na vikarya. It is not something to be generated. It was, is, and will be. You don't have to produce it. And na sanskarya. Antakarana shuddhi we talked about, but we would never talk about the shuddhi of the pure self. Some places, if there is the word Atma Shuddhi, Gita uses Yogina Karma Kurvanti Atma Shuddhaye for Atma Shuddhi. The word Atma there then means Antakarana only, not the Asansari Shuddha Atma. So it is not Samskarya also. Like a copper vessel which has lost its shine, needs to be washed. You use some tamarind paste or some other special powder, rub it, and the copper vessel then shines. That is called samskarana. So, does the pure self in us require some purification? No way. Na sanskaryaha, na utpadyaha, na vikaryaha, na apyaha. These are touched upon in Kena-Upanishad Shānkarabhāshya also by Adi Shankara. Ataha, summarily, finally, Sri Shankara says, Utpanna Vidyasya. As there is great clarity, then karma arambaha anupapanna. Then he neither is into sakama karma where he was long ago, nor does he indulge in nishkama karma. Karma, lock, stock, and barrel can be put behind, left aside. So, interestingly, in a session yesterday on J. Krishnamurti's teachings, I came across and quoted also. J. Krishnamurti talks about true morality and says, in true morality, you put aside social morality with total ease, no struggle, no conflict. A hard sentence to understand, really. What is it to put aside social norms, social morality, social ideas, the popular concepts about right and wrong, and what is it to leave them all with ease? Krishnamurti emphasizes, when you let go of social norms or social morality with ease, then you have morality. Till then, you might be thinking you are a moral person, you are a righteous person, you are a virtuous person, you are a role model for others, blah, blah. So many things you may think about yourself. Foolish fellow, you actually were conforming, were playing to the tunes of powers that be, and you had managed to get awards and trophies, and they called you ideal man and so on, but you actually are not truly moral. So Krishnamurti, in his own way, shakes the foundations of popular understanding. No conflict with the Vedanta. Utpanna Vidyasya, someone who has a great clarity, leaves karma with ease, not struggling. How should I? Oh my God, I have to now. Oh, very painful for me to leave this karma. But anyhow, I must. All this, oscillation and vacillation, he doesn't speak of clarity. Utpanna Vidyasya, someone in whom certain insights have risen. Those insights are so clear. Empowered by that new vision, she or he leaves karma, never to look back. Last sentence we have selected, which connects straight to the first mantra of the Kena-Upanishad. In this vākya-bhāshya we have ataha, therefore, vyavritta bahya buddhehe atma vijnanaya keneshitam ityadi arambhaha. The 33 mantras, beginning with the first mantra, keneshitam padati preshitam manaha, and so on, arambhaha. The Upanishad begins, atma vijnanaya. Be very clear, it is for the wisdom of the purest self, pure self, the absolute self, your swarupa, not your jiva bhava. There is much to be done, much has to be done for the jiva, but this is a context of someone who has done it all. Please know, for vast majority, dharma vichara, purification of mind, satkarma, sadvichara, sadvani, sadvachana, speak well, the three monkeys of Gandhiji. Don't see evil, don't speak evil, don't hear evil. And which means speak the good, see the good, hear the good. This is all dharma vichar. That's what, of course, vast majority needs. But Upanishads give to us a certain glimpse of what is beyond. Vyavritta bahya buddhehe, as one is able to withdraw one's mind from self-gratification. That person, lady or man, old or young, Indian or European, doesn't matter. Someone who has risen to a higher state of consciousness requires now Atma-jnana, and Upanishad can give it. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo, Namah Paramarashibhyaha.